Hello everyone, and welcome back to another highlight video for the Montreal Expos Backyard Baseball 2001 season mode. This will cover our game against the Seattle Mariners, and there is a lot to get to as this was a fairly crazy game at Cement Gardens. We are able to jump into the top of the first where Pablo Sanchez is up with one out, as he often is, and he hits a line drive to left field, as he often does, and this one gets stuck right up against the wall of the building. It's actually the pitcher who sprints all the way out to try and field this ball. No help from their fielders whatsoever, but that gives Pablo plenty of time for the inside the park home run. But in the bottom of the first, the Mariners would quickly counter with a ground ball that goes all the way to the wall, taking advantage of the field setup there. And then a couple batters later, Luke Lopez, get used to that name, he hits a line drive to deep center field and gets it over the small opening in the fence there, putting the Mariners up 2-1 in the first inning, and it looked for a moment that we were in for a crazy one as we loaded the bases in the top of the second, but Luan Louis strikes out, and then Annie Frazier is going to come up next. Bases loaded, full count, 2 outs, and unfortunately she strikes out as well, and we are unable to take advantage of the good work done by the bottom of the order. We had some good defense of our own, however, as Heather Quinn hits a line drive that gets through into the gap, but Keisha Phillips is able to field it and throw a strike to Annie Frazier to get us out of that inning. And then in the bottom of the third, it was Ernie Steele's turn, trying to go catch this ball, is unable to as Pablo kind of flubs it, but once again we gun out the runner at second base. But in the bottom of the fourth, with 2 on, Kimmy Ekman is able to hit a line drive to center, and this time we once again are unable to make the catch, and we are unable to record an out before PJ Sharif scores. However, Kimmy Ekman gets overly aggressive, and we catch her in a rundown, and then excellent work from Jocinda Smith to tag her out before the second run could score. So in the top of the fifth, we're down 3-1 now, when Pablo Sanchez hits a line drive single to left. Annie Frazier thrown out at second base, but Luan scores easily, and Pablo advances to second on the overthrow, making it 3-2 for Mikey Thomas. And he is going to hit a towering fly ball to left center field, and poor communication from the Mariners there allows the ball to bounce very high up in the air, the classic Cement Gardens bounce there, and that allows Pablo to score easily. Mikey, trying to get the triple, is just barely thrown out at third. Keisha Phillips comes up next, and even though there's 2 outs and nobody on, she is able to take advantage of a misfield at first base. Should have been the third out. It gets away, and Keisha is able to get to third base, allowing us to threaten again in what is now a tie game. And Vladimir Guerrero takes advantage of the situation by hitting a ground ball on a spitball that the throw probably should have gone to first, but we take advantage, and we take a 4-3 lead, leading to Ernie Steele in a 3-1 count, dropping down a crazy bunt. A crazy bunt from Ernie Steele. Vladimir Guerrero is off to the races. The ball eventually finds its way to the outfield, and Vladimir Guerrero has just enough speed to score from first and move the lead to 5-3. We still weren't done as Jocinda Smith also drops down a crazy bunt. This one very quickly making it to the outfield. Jocinda easily gets to second on a double, and Ernie Steele is able to score, and we take a 6-3 lead. A great inning for us there. And then with 1 on, the Mariners trying to come right back. Amazing defensive awareness from Dante Robinson. Snags the ball and allows us to turn a double play, where in the top of the sixth, Annie Frazier, with Luan Louis already on first, drops down a crazy bunt of her own. Our third crazy bunt of the game. And once again, it is an effective tool for us as Luann Louis uses her speed to score from first, and Annie easily checks in to third base with the triple. Now up 7-3, Pablo Sanchez trying to keep it going. Hits a towering fly ball to right, but it's not very deep, and it finds an opening. Bounces up high. Annie Frazier scores easily, and then the right fielder smartly throws it to absolutely no one, and Pablo Sanchez is able to use his speed to get another inside the park home run. 9-3 later in the inning. Ernie Steele up, takes the first pitch he sees, and that allows us to execute a first and third steal play. Vladimir Guerrero going to second. They throw to third, and Keisha immediately takes advantage. They try to get Vladimir at third, but he says no thank you, turns around and goes back to second. And that was the end of that inning. We are up 10-3, bottom of the sixth. It is Luke Lopez trying to start some sort of comeback, some sort of momentum for the Mariners, who completely lost the plot in those middle innings. But Luke Lopez hits it to center field, where an exhausted Luann Louis struggles to make the play. Lopez gets the triple, and then PJ Sharif is able to hit this little bloop fly ball to left. It hits the ground in front of Keisha and then goes down the alley and is inexplicably ruled a home run by the umpire. I was absolutely fuming over that decision. Thought it should have been a ground rule double, but nonetheless, it is 10-5. Nothing really happens until Luke Lopez comes up again in the bottom of the eighth. We were unable to add to our total, and Luke Lopez hits a towering blast off the brick wall in right field. It bounces way high in the air, not once, but twice, and by that time, all three runners score. All of a sudden, it's 10-8. A couple batters later, Kimmy Ekman unleashes a screaming line drive with a runner on first. Things were getting frantic. Pablo misfields like a 3-foot pass from Luann. Dante Robinson abandons his post at home plate, and all of a sudden it's 10-9. But we were able to get out of the inning, and we were able to finish off the game as Pablo Sanchez records the third out on a line drive, and we survive 10-9 and an absolute crazy back and forth affair. It was looking good when we were up 10-3, but the Mariners did their best to try and come back. Nevertheless, we get the win, and now with 2 games to go, we remain in line for a playoff spot.